Welcome to AI Convo Cast, where we bring you the latest in AI and tech innovation. Quick housekeeping. Check out the affiliate links in our description. Using them supports the show, and please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Let's jump right in.
Today we will be looking at Anthropic's big enterprise agent event in New York City, Microsoft rolling GPT 5.2 into Copilot Chat across platforms, OpenAI Codex gaining momentum with its Cerebras-powered Spark model, and Google's Gemini 3.1 Pro preview turning heads with some impressive reasoning benchmarks. Let's get right into it. Anthropic is hosting a major event today called The Briefing Enterprise Agents, taking place in New York City, with a live stream running from 8:30 this morning through 1 in the afternoon Eastern. This is Anthropic putting a big stake in the ground around enterprise use cases for Claude. The whole event is aimed at the people who make buying decisions inside large organizations. Think CIOs, chief revenue officers, general counsels, and heads of analytics. The messaging from Anthropic is centered on the idea that Claude can go from being a general-purpose assistant to something much more specialized when it gets connected to a company's internal tools and knowledge bases. Their event page puts it pretty clearly, saying, quote, "Join product and engineering leaders from Anthropic to see what's possible when Claude knows your work the way you do," end quote. The focus areas include security, governance, compliance, and admin controls, which makes a lot of sense if you're trying to sell into regulated industries like finance or healthcare. Early chatter from developers who tuned into the live stream this morning has zeroed in on the governance tooling specifically, with people noting that the admin controls look substantially more robust than what was previously available. Essentially, Anthropic is framing Claude not just as a model you query, but as a secure operating layer that can sit inside an enterprise and act on behalf of employees within carefully defined guardrails. It is a direct play against what Microsoft is doing with Copilot and what OpenAI has been building with its own agent ecosystem, and it shows Anthropic is serious about competing for large-scale enterprise deployments in 2026. Now, over at Microsoft, there has been a meaningful update to Copilot Chat that is worth walking through. Microsoft has added GPT 5.2 to the model selector inside Copilot Chat, and it is available across Windows, Android, iOS, Mac, and the web. This rolled out as part of the January 27th release cycle, and has been reflected in updated February documentation. The way it works is users now get a choice between two modes: Quick Response and Think Deeper. Quick Response is your faster, lightweight answer, and Think Deeper is for when you want the model to spend more time reasoning through a problem before giving you an output. Microsoft's own release notes describe GPT 5.2 as offering, quote, "better instruction following, improved math and coding performance," end quote. Enterprise admins who have been testing it have noted on Microsoft forums that reasoning latency has improved compared to the prior GPT 5.1 integration, meaning the Think Deeper mode does not feel sluggish the way earlier reasoning tier options sometimes did. The bigger picture here is that Microsoft continues to leverage its massive distribution footprint. By embedding the latest OpenAI models directly into the tools that millions of people already use every day for work, they make frontier AI capabilities feel like a natural extension of productivity software, rather than something you have to go out of your way to access. OpenAI has its own interesting story unfolding around Codex. On February 12th, OpenAI released GPT 5.3 Codex Spark, and the headline detail is that this variant runs on Cerebras hardware rather than Nvidia GPUs. That is a big deal. This is OpenAI's first production coding model deployed on a non-Nvidia chip stack. Codex itself has been picking up steam since the macOS app launched on February 2nd. It functions as an agentic programming tool, meaning it can write features, answer questions about a codebase, run tests, and even propose pull requests. It is available to ChatGPT Pro, Enterprise, Team, and Plus subscribers. Developers have been comparing the Spark variant to the standard GPT 5.3 Codex model, and the early feedback is positive. One developer on GitHub commented, quote, "Spark feels faster on long test runs than 5.3 standard. Curious how much is Cerebras versus infra-tuning," end quote. The hardware diversification angle is strategically significant for OpenAI. Reducing reliance on any single chip supplier gives them more flexibility on cost, more leverage in negotiations, and better resilience against supply chain disruptions. For developers using Codex day-to-day, the practical takeaway is that the tool is getting faster and more capable, and the underlying infrastructure choices OpenAI is making should help keep that trajectory going. Google rounded out the week with the launch of Gemini 3.1 Pro in preview on February 19th. This is being positioned as a core reasoning upgrade over the previous Gemini 3 Pro, and the benchmark numbers back that up. Gemini 3.1 Pro posted an ARC AGI 2 score of 77.1%, which more than doubles the prior Gemini 3 Pro score on that same benchmark. It also hit 80.6% on SWE Bench Verified, which measures real-world software engineering task completion. Google is clearly targeting the reasoning narrative that OpenAI and Anthropic have been dominating in recent months. The model is described as focused on complex problem-solving rather than just multimodal breadth, which has traditionally been more of Google's calling card. The fact that it is in preview suggests a staged rollout, likely with broader enterprise access coming in the weeks ahead. Analysts have been impressed but cautious, with one noting on social media, quote, "Gemini 3.1 Pro's ARC jump is real. Question is consistency outside curated evals," end quote. That is a fair point since benchmark performance does not always translate perfectly to real-world reliability. But the numbers are genuinely strong and put Google firmly in the conversation when it comes to frontier reasoning capabilities.
Thank you for listening to AI Convo Cast. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Thanks and hope to see you again next time.